Shalom. Let's start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Philet that's pushing this truth or cause for comes of the earth and all fair truth and sincerity. This I'm gonna want to buy by giving us sitting. This one going to about the stock market. The stock market, it's gonna eventually it's gonna crash. Eventually, like I said, this system, this dollar, eventually, it's gonna come to a crash. This financial system, of everybody using the paper dollar or the debit cards is gonna come to an end. And what's gonna be the new way of buying and selling? It's gonna be taking that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. So I'm getting to it. So 5 signs the stock market is about to crash. Stocks are soaring to record heights, but 5 specific indicators suggest the party is about to end. So I'm gonna read some of these. I ain't gonna read all of them. It's January 2026, and if you look at your 401k balance, you probably feel pretty good. The SP 500 is hovering near record highs, and the AI revolution has pushed the company valuations into the stratosphere. But while the party is still raging, the investment police are knocking at the door. Beneath the surface, the math is getting ugly. A specific set of economic alarms, ones that successfully predicted the crash of 2008, are ringing in unison. Here are the 5 signals that suggest the next downturn isn't just possible, but potentially imminent. The red zone danger signal. We often think stock market crashes are random, unpredictable events, but academic research suggests otherwise. This study by researchers at Harvard and the National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER, identified a specific market condition they call the red zone. It happens when 2 things occur simultaneously. First, price growth, a sector the market, in our case AI tech, sees its stock prices skyrocket. High debt growth, the companies in the sector fund their growth by borrowing massive amounts of money. When you have prices without debt, you get a boom. But when you mix the debt, you get a potential bomb. Right now, we are firmly in the red zone. AI-related capital expenditure. Expenditure. Let me see something real quick. I'm sure I'm saying that right. Let's see.
Expenditure.
Okay, yeah. Expenditure has hit 350 billion, with about 100 billion of that financed by debt, according to the NBER foundings. Once a sector enters this zone, there is a 40% probability of financial crisis starting within 3 years. So they're saying within 3 years you're gonna start seeing more of this economy just going down. But we seeing it now. We seeing it now. The stock market crash, man. I mean, the great one, the big one, right? That's gonna come about. Which don't get the scripture, which don't get the scriptures to back this up. The great crashing, is gonna. It could happen. It could happen, before the fall of this year. What you gotta see, but this economy ain't doing good. It ain't. How usually the economy supposed to be going. Like I say the job market is not doing well. People not really can't get jobs, or hard to find to get jobs, and like I said, this AI takeover is not good. A lot of people getting replaced with AI. A lot of people that working these desk jobs or whatever, getting replaced by AI. And that's not good. When you look at it for like with the job market, hiring, people getting making money, and and so forth, right? This economy is not doing good. It's not in good it's not a good standards. What I'm saying? It's not good. It's good. It's gonna eventually, like say, the stock market. This economy. It's gonna come crashing down. And like I say, the new way of buying and selling. The new way of buying and selling is gonna come by way of the RFID chip. Which is the mark of the beast. But read some more of this. The Buffett indicator is flashing red when Warren Buffett once called it the ratio of the total stock market value to the country's GDP. Probably the best single measure of where valuations stand at any given moment. Think of it like this: if the stock market is worth a lot more than the economy that supports it, things are overpriced. In the dot-com bubble of 2000, this ratio hit about 140% before the 2022 bear market. It touched at 193%. As of mid-January 2026, it hit an all-time high over 230%. Buffett has historically warned that buying stocks when this ratio approaches 200% is playing with fire. Right now, we aren't just playing with fire; we're soaking the furniture in gasoline. Going down. Let me see. It said the AI money pit problem. During the railroad boom of the 1840s, track mileage quadrupled it. Is it quadrupled? Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Quintupled. Okay, track mileage quintupled, but revenue only hit 25% of what investors expected. The infrastructure was useful, but the investors lost their shirts. We are seeing a similar dynamic today. U.S. tech giants are projected to spend $1 trillion on AI infrastructure through 2029. Yet, reports indicate that a vast majority of organizations implementing this tech are seeing zero return on investment. Andrew, I don't know how to say the last name, a math professor who studies financial bubbles, warns that we are looking at figures larger than the total revenues of Google needed just to justify the hardware spending. The gap is often called AI $600 billion question. If the revenue doesn't show up soon, the spending will stop, and when the spending stops, the stocks crash. Everyone's too optimistic. That might sound backward, but widespread optimism is actually a terrible sign. When everyone believes the market will go up, they have already bought in. There is nobody left. There is nobody left to buy, which means prices have nowhere to go but down. So what goes up must come down. A study of market experts found that optimism portends crashes. Hold up. They found that optimism portends crashes. I'm saying that right. The most bullish forecast predicted the highest crash risk. Right now, banks like Goldman Sachs are issuing reports saying that futures of past bubbles are absent and predicting continued growth. When the smartest people in the room tell you nothing can go wrong, check the exits. So, these, I just read this article going to about the 5 signs of the stock market crashes, what's going to come about. And it will. It's prophecy, the great crashing is going to come about, of the stock market, here in America, Babylon Great, I seen, like I said, eventually, like I said, this dollar, U.S. dollar, is going to eventually be done away with, soon. Debit cards going to not, be useless, so. But I'm get the scripture to back this up. Zephaniah 1:10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. So you had the first stock market crash in 1929, and then you had the second one. You had the second one that came about, in 2008. The housing crashing, that came about. And then, this crash is going to come about, great crash from the hills, or the great crash that's going to come, the stock market crash is going to come about. It's going to be a great crash. This is going to be the crash of all crashes, right? When it happens, like I say, ain't going to be no point of return or trying to, put a band-aid on the wound of the financial of the stock market or the financial system, that's going on right now. This financial system, this setup right now, what it is right now with the U.S. dollar, the paper dollar, and the debit cards, that's gonna be done away with. Once this crash comes about, one of the 5 signs we were saying by those people being optimistic about about the stock market, about the economy. When, like I say, when things seem good, going good, that's when you need to be. Wait a minute, that's when you need kind of when things like it's too good to be true. You need kind of like be like, wait a minute, you gotta kind of look at it like it's something around the corner that's gonna come about. That's gonna happen. That's gonna be real bad, terrible. Cause that's what it is. And everything might seem okay and peaceful, then boom, that tragedy or that that bad news or bad situation come about, and that's what's gonna happen. A lot of people gonna be cut off by this stock market crash. People investing into this and that, whatever, but when that crash come about, it's all that investment, all the money they invest into this and that gonna be done away with. I said the new way of buying and selling a function in this system of this society. I say the new financial way system of buying and selling is going like I keep saying, it's gonna be by way, not just me but the apostles and the elders and the brother Grand Mister to teach the word of Lord Yahweh Shah. Keep saying is that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. It's gonna be the new way of buying and selling. The scripture, it's Revelation. It goes into Revelation 13, right? Down. Revelation 13:16 on down. It goes into that. So eventually, like I said, this stock market crash is gonna come. It's gonna happen. The great crash. The great stock market crash is gonna come about. Here in America, about the great. And everyone's gonna feel it. So I hope this was edifying. I didn't want to make this too long, so again, I like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, Harakah Kadash, to the apostle elders, to the Sisakin brothers, to the few Akwaf sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting with that. Say Shalom.